So, back again to do another live stream real quick. Um, it's official. So apparently Texas and, from my understanding, Mississippi have completely eliminated the whole mask wearing mandate stuff. Uh, I'm going to predict that DeSantis in Florida will probably follow suit, as well as a few other states. Personally, I think it should all fall through the same way. I think that this whole mask thing is ridiculous. Now, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what will cause what cause and effect it will have regarding the federal government. But personally, the federal government is a joke at this point. Um, you know, I pretty adamant that this circus, which is really is what it is. It's a circus at this point of uh, just idiots and freaks. I'm gonna call it what it is. I don't care. Listen, I'm not here to make friends. Um, I'm just gonna be brutally honest. Um, this circus of freaks just needs to end. So I think that this move is what's been needed. Again, I'm not trying to say that this virus is not a virus. I think COVID is what it is. Yes, it was not an accident. Of course, this whole thing was planned. It was planned, and then it was weaponized for the whole purpose of this election thing. They just used it perfectly. It was perfectly planned for that. But 99% plus survival rate in the beginning with these masks and forcing people to wear masks. And it goes to say, because now they're making it not a mandate at this point, but now you have to deal with this issue with the vaccines, which I spoke a little bit about in the other previous video, or the first video I should say. But that's the kind of the big issue at hand right now is these vaccines, these non-clinical tested vaccines that are, in my eyes, and I'll keep saying it, they're just poison. They're not about COVID. I'm going to say it again. I don't care if this is looked at or taken as some kind of conspiracy thing. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, the fact now is that these were not clinically tested, neither on animals, which no one, per se, agrees with that. No one wants, animals hurt or anything like that, but that's just the nature of the beast. That's how we have the ability to know what we can have as humans and not. So much so that these also get tested on human and medicine and vaccines and anything medically gets tested eventually on humans, but everything is controlled. And that's not what took place with these vaccines. Trump or no Trump, Biden, no Biden, it doesn't matter. If you just look at the vaccines themselves and the way they came out and what was not completed with them is fact. So the only difference that I will say, though, is that Trump does say it. He does mention it all the time. It's something that would take 5 to 10 years, roughly, and he does bring it up on many occasions where, the Biden administration doesn't do nothing. They're clueless. This is a big issue. They, forcing people, mandating these vaccines, they're taking away, they're eliminating the masks, but now, they still have to do something about these vaccines. It's a joke. People, want to say what they want to say. That's fine. They are known to say now that they have nanotechnology in them. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. This is what other physicians are saying. People who have broken it down or know about it or whatever. They're saying that there's Lucifer dye in them, whatever. All I know is that this is not geared towards any kind of COVID virus. There's a whole nother thing going around with these vaccines. It's a whole nother animal. And I don't really know, how to put my finger on it. It just, everything is so elusive that no one really knows. I can tell you that I'm not taking them. I'm not taking that vaccine. There will be no needles anywhere near anyone in my family. It is not happening. Unless it gets to a point where there's absolutely no choice, where, like I said, like I mentioned in the last video, they're talking about mandating this to a point where you're not going to be able to even renew your licenses unless you have a COVID vaccine. kids, when they go to get their first license, they're not going to be able to get their license unless they have this COVID vaccine. They're shoving this down our throats. They're mandating it, or want to mandate this in a way where it does not make sense. There's other things out there in the world that pose even a greater threat than this, a higher percentage of deaths or death rate that could come out of like just crazy different viruses and just deadly things out there. But here's this virus that is really nothing. H1N1, I would compare it to that. There was no crazy vaccines or any of the stuff that happened, shutting everything down, killing an economy. I mean, come on, people. I mean, are we really? And although this is global, but I speak, here as an American. Are we as Americans like this dumbed down? Are we just going to sit here and just keep allowing this to just keep taking place? Like, you might as well go get the KY jelly and just bend over at this point, because it's just at the point of it's ridiculous. I'm commenting on certain people's posts today on Facebook, which I'm not really big on Facebook anymore, but it's true. And I've said it again, and I say it again, and I say it again. We built a tolerance that we live by. No matter how bad things are, no matter what happens, we just tolerate it. And we continue to tolerate it, either hoping that it's going to go away or hoping that someone else will take care of it. And at this point in time, we just got to a point where how we can sit back and just tolerate this. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're stripping everything away from us slowly. To an extent, slowly. I mean, it's actually pretty quick at this point. But technically, over time, we're not going to have any rights. We're not going to have anything, because that's how they're gearing this. So, again, stop with this whole thing with, I watched the CPAC. I watched Trump's speech. He was right. He mentioned, everything that he said, everything that he's always said was correct. I back that man 100%. Not the man. I back what he supports. I back what he believes. That's the issue with all these people. That they don't like the man as a person. They don't think that he speaks well. They don't think whatever. He's orange. Whatever the hell they say. Okay, forget that crap. Look at what he was aiming to do. Look at his mission. That's what people are backing that man for. Okay, you have, again, I just saw something today again about the cages again. Biden administration, they don't even want to have people go down there to go look at the cages. They don't even have people go down to that facility. Why? Because they already know they're doing wrong. They know that everything that they're doing is so against what the popular belief of what people want in this country. They know that the majority is not for them. They're trying to do everything they can right now because they can, and they can get away with it. They set themselves up for that. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm not going to back down on what I'm telling you. Don't get caught up in the fact that, and like I said, I am a Republican and I'm a conservative, but I'm telling you right now, forget the elections. The elections are a fraud. They've proven it. It will not change. If they could get away with stealing this election, November 3rd and January 5th, those two elections, if that's not enough proof that the election system holds no validity at all, it is completely compromised, then I don't know what else America needs to see. Okay? You go into those voting booths, even in person, and you go vote. You did that already. What happened? It's proven. They've shown you that's gone. They eliminated that whole feeling of being confident in your voice, your vote. It's not there. So what do you do? What do you do from this point on? What's the next step? You listen to the people at CPAC, DeSantis, and all these people that Trump, talking about the primaries and making sure that we get these Republicans in office. And well, how is that going to work? Are we going to wait and go and vote and then possibly have the same outcome where they're controlling the voting? I mean, it goes to show you November 3rd was a complete disaster, complete fraud. The next election was when? January 5th for the runoff? And what happened there? Do you mean to tell me there wasn't enough time, plenty of time to realize that, holy crap, this was completely taken over and they stole this election, and now we know how they did it. So you mean to tell me that from that time, from November 3rd to January 5th, that couldn't have been eliminated, that couldn't have been dealt with at that point, so that way it wouldn't have that same effect on January 5th for that runoff in Georgia? I mean, come on. It won't go away. They've, placed their pieces in the right spots so that way they can kind of have free reign as to making sure that they will never lose the ability to control the country and gear their agenda to where they want it to go. So it's great. It's great to have all this patriotism and listen to Trump and listen to all these people, but unless we start really changing it, if the governors themselves, like I said, I salute the governor of Texas, governor of Mississippi, Ron DeSantis. If you watch this video, follow suit, and I want every other governor to follow suit. Every other governor that just not a chicken shit. Every governor that just says, you know what, like I'm done with this. This is complete absurdity. Screw you. And just move forward. I'm still waiting for the day where people are going to come out and say, this is just plain out war. I'm waiting for the day where the federal government just says, we got to do something because we're losing control and no one's abiding by what we're telling them to do. That's when things are going to get real. At this point, everyone's still following along, doing what they want you to do, what they expect you to do, and ultimately just losing every possible shred of freedom that you have. What about Joe Biden and all these promises that he did? What about the $2,000, Joe? Where's the $2,000? Okay, I think there was a lot of bamboozling going on with you when you said that, especially in Georgia, if you vote, Democrat, we'll get you your $2,000. I don't see nothing. I don't see no stimulus going anywhere at this point. All I'm seeing is governors making sure that they have stuff, embedded into the stimulus that's paying themselves in their states. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous that we're just sitting back and allowing this constant bullshit to happen. This has been a problem since Clinton, and we just continue to take it, and I mean, it's just ridiculous. And people, I'm telling you, unless you're living under a rock and you're just plain stupid, and you can't tell me that you haven't been able to see the urgency that they had when Trump took office to get that guy out, and you can't put two and two together and figure out why, then you're the problem. You are the problem. It's every single one of you out there that can't figure that out that creates this problem and makes it bigger than what it is. It's the agenda that he would never follow. He was never part of it. And he would never be part of it. And that's what they're so fearful of. As a matter of fact, 2 impeachments. Why? You think that that's just because they hate the guy? They don't want him to run again. They don't want him taking office again because it's the same thing's going to happen. He's going to derail every possible thing that these people have planned. And I'm not going to go into it today, But I'm telling you right now, and they just went over there and bombed in the Middle East. I mentioned it in the last video, and I'm telling you again right now, China is one of the main concerns that we have, including now that Biden figured that we'll give him control over our power grid. Why not give China control over it, give them access to it? You know what I mean? Frickin' A, it's brilliant. But now you have, like I said, Iran and Pompeo and Al Qaeda and nuclear weapons, all in one country. That we're now going over there and we're bombing. I mean, for whatever reason it may be. I don't even care what the reason is. It's just knowing all those little things that are now there. And you have Al Qaeda with possible access to nuclear weapons. Bad move.